Hello there. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about the resumption of flights and the possibility of quarantining and testing. A number of states have actually indicated that when passengers will come in, especially from high-risk places like Mumbai or Delhi or Tamil Nadu, where there are a lot of cases, the people who arrive in Bengaluru, for example, may have to go in for testing and perhaps even quarantines. And we've had the Civil Aviation Minister, for example, wondering, why is it really necessary to have a quarantine in case your Aroogya Setu app status is green? Now, that's an interesting question and it merits a certain amount of debate. Let's not forget, we also today heard the railways saying that they have ferried something like 35 lakh people on various Shramik Expresses. So people have been moving back and forth. The question here now is, look at the concentration of coronavirus in India. And if you take a look at it, look at a state like Maharashtra. It's got something like 44,000 cases right now. Tamil Nadu, 14,000. Gujarat, 13,000. Delhi, nearly 13,000. So these are the hotspot areas. In other states, including large states, whether it's UP or Haryana, Jharkhand, the Northeast, places like Assam, there are not that many coronavirus cases. So the problem really is coming down to this. There are two issues with travel. When you yourself are traveling, then there is an issue, right? Could you catch coronavirus when you're on a plane, or if you're on a train, could you get coronavirus from somebody else? But the bigger issue is, can people ferry coronavirus, let's say from Mumbai to Assam, and what can be done about that? Now, the problem with the Aroogya Setu app solution, which was suggested by Mr. Hardeep Puri, is what if somebody is misdeclaring? So somewhere the country is going to have to come up with a proper solution around this. Should you have testing when people come? Should you have quarantines with testing? Is just doing a temperature scan enough? Perhaps not. As states start receiving people, 35 lakh people have already moved in trains, now the flights are going to start. States are going to have to figure out how to do this successfully. Otherwise, just as we start seeing coronavirus starting to peak in states like Delhi or wherever else it's going to peak, hopefully, Rajasthan, others, you could have fresh hotspots emerging. Bihar, Jharkhand, Uttar Pradesh, the Northeast. And that's not something we really want. Okay, let's quickly take you through all the big stories of the day.
Union Minister for Civil Aviation Hardeep Singh Puri has said that he does not understand the need to quarantine domestic air passengers once flight operations start from Monday if they have downloaded the government's contract tracing app Aroogya Setu and the status on it shows negative. The statement comes as governments of Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka and Assam and the administration of Jammu and Kashmir have decided that arriving passengers will have to stay in quarantine despite the centre advising it.
Maharashtra government has said that there is no decision to let flight operations start from Monday in the state. According to an India Today report, the Uddhav Thackeray-led government has said that the centre arbitrarily made the decision to allow domestic flight operations and there was no consultation with the state. It said that the state needs time to decide on the standard operating protocols over air travel. The MVA government reportedly said that outside airport, everything becomes a state government's responsibility. Therefore, the Maharashtra government has decided to wait for a discussion with the centre before changing lockdown protocols for flight operation. In view of the coronavirus outbreak and rising cases, the Bihar government has said that migrants returning to the state from the cities that are badly hit by the virus will be compulsorily kept in quarantine camps. These cities are Surat, Ahmedabad, Mumbai, Pune, Delhi, Ghaziabad, Faridabad, Gurugram, Noida, Kolkata and Bengaluru. The government notification further stated that people returning from other places will be home quarantined if they don't show any symptoms.
A group of migrants were sprayed with a disinfectant by the Delhi Civic Agency on Friday. The South Delhi Municipal Corporation later said it was a mistake as the worker who was handling the spray could not handle the pressure of the machine and the recoil changed the direction of the spray. SDMC officials have apologized to the migrants, the civic agency said in a statement. Hundreds of migrants had gathered outside a school at Lajpat Nagar to screen for coronavirus before boarding a special Shramik train.
India on Saturday recorded its highest daily spike in cases with 6,654 cases in the past 24 hours. A look at the trends show that this is the third day in a row that India has recorded over 6,000 cases. Fifth day in a row that it has recorded over 5,000 cases and eighth day in a row that it has recorded over 4,000 cases daily. India, which is in its fourth phase of nationwide lockdown, has crossed the 1,25,000 mark in terms of cases and has had over 3,700 deaths due to the virus. Past month, Maharashtra's COVID-19 mortality rate has fallen from 4.76% to 3.49% as of Thursday, the Hindustan Times has reported, quoting the data from the Maharashtra Health Department. However, during the same period, the number of deaths went up drastically to 1,454 on Thursday from 269 deaths on April 22nd. On April 22nd, the total number of COVID-19 cases in the state was 5,649, with a mortality rate of 4.76%. On May 21st, the total number of cases in the state was 41,642, with a mortality rate of 3.49%. As of Saturday, the total number of COVID-19 cases in Maharashtra stood at 44,582 and the number of deaths was 1,517.
The Indian Railways was left red-faced on Saturday after a Shramik special train which started its journey from Mumbai for Gorakhpur on May 21st reached Odisha's Rourkela without intimating the passengers about the change in the route. The plight of the people on board the train came to the fore after passengers shared their video on Twitter. Meanwhile, Western Railway spokesperson said that the train was diverted due to heavy traffic congestion on existing routes. It's for the first time in the history of railway operations in India that the route of a moving train was changed without informing the passengers.
और ये उड़ीसा में लाके खड़ा कर दिया। अभी हम लोग यहाँ कैसे जाएंगे, क्या करेंगे हम लोग, बहुत परेशानी में हम लोग, रास्ता ही भूल गया, ड्राइवर बोल रहे हैं।
तो वहाँ से गाड़ी बहुत ही आउट रूट से जा रही है, ये कब गोरखपुर पहुँचेगी, कब अपने घर पहुँचेंगे, वो हमारी समझ में नहीं आ रहा है।
West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee on Saturday requested the Ministry of Railways to not send any Shramik special trains to the state till May 26th, as officials are busy in relief work after the havoc wreaked by cyclone Amphan. The letter from the State Chief Secretary Rajiva Sinha to Chairman of Railway Board V.K. Yadav on May 22nd stated that the state had been severely impacted by Super Cyclone Amphan, which caused extensive damage to the infrastructure. Brazil became the world number 2 hotspot for coronavirus cases on Friday, second only to the United States. The Latin American country has confirmed 330,890 people infected by the virus, overtaking Russia. Brazil registered 1,001 daily coronavirus deaths on Friday, taking total deaths over to 21,000, according to the Health Ministry.
As millions of US citizens lost their jobs in the COVID-19 pandemic, nation's billionaires saw their net worth jump $434 billion in the first 2 months of the pandemic. The wealth gain was led by Amazon founder and CEO Jeff Bezos, who got richer by $34.6 billion, and Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg, who earned $25 billion. The top 5 US billionaires, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Warren Buffett, and Oracle's Larry Ellison, saw their wealth grow by a total of $75.5 billion or 19%. Between March 18th and May 19th, the total net worth of the 600-plus US billionaires jumped by $434 billion or 15%, based on the group's analysis of Forbes data. During that same period, more than 38 million working Americans lost their jobs, nearly 1.5 million Americans fell ill with the virus, and almost 90,000 died from it.